What is up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Nez and Xavier are on their way, so we are going to go ahead and kick it off Haaland style this evening. But right off the rip, let's go ahead and get the likes up on the video. Doing another weekend review. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And of course, get the notification bell on for all of the action, all of the content coming down the line. Tonight, we're looking at the title race. We are looking at the Arsenal-Bournemouth game, of course. We're going to look at Man City absolutely dunking on Wolves. And what is going on at Stamford Bridge? Chelsea on the rise, dumping goals. Is it because Enzo is not in the team? Is it because Cucurella is inverting? Of course, we are going to take a look at the action at Anfield. Of course, I certainly enjoyed that. And we will be taking a look as well, of course, at what's just gone on over at Selhurst Park, among the rest of the games as well. And, of course, there's Champions League in the week. Do a little preview, take a look at those. And then, of course, anything else? There's definitely plenty of things going on. VAR was a disgrace this weekend. So we're definitely going to be discussing that periodically. But I think we can go ahead and start out with, why not? We'll start out with the Arsenal, of course. I have spoke on them already in my match reaction, but we'll do a little bit more here. I did want to mention that I thought that Declan Rice was amazing, of course. Kai Havertz was amazing, of course. But in my match reaction, I didn't give enough props to Martin Odegaard, who, of course, also was immense and was fantastic in that game. I really, really think that Thomas Partey's influence, not only in the formation and giving us, a solid option as far as ball progression and as well as his press resistance. Yes, those things are fantastic. But I also think that the comfort level that Odegaard gets, the comfort level that Declan Rice gets. You see how much he was getting forward in the game against Bournemouth. And so he's only getting that high, that up the pitch when Partey's in the game. Even when Jorginho's on the field, you notice he's a little bit farther back. Yes, Jorginho's had a good season. I think he definitely should get we should sign him for another year. I think that he also is just not Partey. He doesn't have the turn of pace that Thomas Partey has. And it's like, why can't this man be healthy? Why can't he just stay healthy? Because if he could stay healthy and we had this all season, I feel like we'd be clear. I feel like we'd be so clear at the top of the league instead of having to wish City, having to watch every City game, praying that Wolves were going to do it, and then, yeah, absolutely get decimated. Yeah. Also, I think that the way we're playing right now, the way Arsenal are looking right now, it makes you think. It makes me go back and look at all the ones, where we should have done it, where we could have done it. And I got to admit, I was a little bit down this week, or right after the Wolves game. Not this week. After the Wolves game, I was a little bit down. In fact, I didn't even pay as much attention to the Chelsea game and the Spurs game as I probably normally would have. But I think that, our run is really keeping Man City on their toes. I think that we have to continue to do that and carry that into the next couple of games here at the end of this season, and just pray and just hopefully something can happen. But as I mentioned earlier, VAR was terrible. Not only in this game, but of course in the rest of the weekend as well. And I, for one, think that the game has gone soft overall. And so had it my way, if the Arsenal Bournemouth game was refereed the way I think things should have been refereed, then firstly, the first incident, 10th minute, Ryan Christie, of course, gets sent off. He's drawing blood. I mean, what else do you want him to do? And he doesn't even get a yellow. So that's a red card, and obviously that's going to change the rest of the game. We can't really sit here and do the if this thing and the what ifs and all that, but we know as football fans, having watched this game for however long now, that's going to change the game. But if we put that aside, we move on to the next incident, the David Raya nudge and the Bournemouth ruled out goal. Or maybe the penalty was before that. I don't remember. We'll do the Bournemouth goal first. This weakness from goalkeepers is just, it's silly. Like, it's a contact sport, and Arsenal have put Ben White on the goalkeeper and nudged him and done just enough to not get the foul called. But then Raya gets nudged a little bit. And of course, when I saw it, I was screaming at the top of my lungs, cursing every referee. He better call that. Of course I was. But if you go back and you watch it real time, the referee looks at Solanke after he's pushed Raya, and Raya Solanke throws his hands up and moves away from the play. Now, I get it. You've hardly nudged him. It's barely a contact at all, but you don't look guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you immediately look guilty when you do, like, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do it. That's immediately what it looks like. And I feel like if, say, Solanke trips, and kind of does one of these to get out of the way or whatever after he's nudged Raya, he gets away with it. 100%. If he doesn't look so guilty, I think he gets away with this. I think it should be a goal. I mean, come on, you just got to be stronger. Raya does there. And so, yeah, I definitely think that the Bournemouth goal should have stood. And again, we're making these hindsight, considerations and opinions, in a bubble, of course. But the game isn't played in a bubble. And as I said, things would have, the game would have gone differently. And I feel like if Christie gets a red card, we might not ever even see this particular moment. But, like I said, putting that aside, that's a goal for Bournemouth, And so we'll look at the Kai Havertz penalty. 100% dive. Straight up simulation. Yep. But those get called all day long. The contact's coming. The goalkeeper comes in. And, yeah, Kai leaves his foot in. And, there's a little bit of contact, and he goes down. But that gets called all the time. And for me, it's a problem that is bigger than one guy diving, because if this happens, if your forward for any of your teams do this, you'll be happy about it with the penalty and the goal. Shout out Saka for keeping his nerve. Shades of West Ham last season. Big pressure moment, steps up and dunks on it. Good to see. But it's more about the culture of the game. It's more about this environment that we fostered of simulation, of the fact that referees call these things, the fact that referees protect the goalkeeper like he's a baby. This is the environment that we've created over the years. Harry Kane has made a career out of winning penalties by leaving his leg in. And so, yeah, 100% Kai's left his leg in. He's simulated. He's played for it. He's dove, dive, whatever you want to say. And I think VAR should intervene here. I think this should be a situation where you bring up the clear and obvious statement as a defense for not overturning this, but it's clear and obvious he's calling the referee. I love what Kai Havertz is doing. I'm not throwing any shade at Kai Havertz. He had a phenomenal game. Fantastic. And he's completely changed my opinion of him over the season. So I'm not having a go at Kai Havertz. Of course, any forward would have done this, and I would have the same energy. VAR should overturn it. And Kai should get a yellow card. But they should do that consistently, because this is a clear and obvious simulation. Bukayo Saka's was a clear and obvious simulation. The problem for me really is actually, why are our players going down first? Why is that the thought first? Instead of rounding the keeper and slotting it home, the first instinct is to go down and try to win the penalty. It's not just in the box. That's like everywhere on the field. People just randomly trying to go down to win the penalty, no matter what, or to win the foul. You know, if the wind blows on somebody's eyebrow, they go down holding their face. It's the environment and the culture in the game that we've created that is the reason for we're seeing these kinds of things. And so I'm happy as a clam or a lark or whatever your expression you want to use that he's simulated the ref, conned the ref, got the goal. Of course I am. And of course, you know, who's not going to be? But I do think that it's a bigger problem. I do think he should have gotten a yellow, and then he subsequently would have been sent off later on in the game. You know, but at the end of the day, despite all these incidents, Arsenal were far better. We controlled the ball. I think they didn't have a sniff of the goal until Gabriel trips and Solanke gets in and Saliba has to cover him. You know, I mean, when you look up these match stats, we absolutely dominated on the stat sheet as well. So I'm a firm believer in looking at this in the spirit of the game, and and I believe in did you deserve to win today? And I know that you don't always win when you deserve to win, but we had 25 shots, 55% possession. 9 of our shots were on target. 6 corner kicks. You know, we forced them to make 6 saves. I think that, at some point, the stats don't lie. We absolutely dominated the game. And even if we don't get the penalty and Kai gets sent off and Bournemouth get their goal, we still win 2-1. Or, like I say, I think the red card would affect it completely, and I think we would have slaughtered them, honestly, because they would have got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and just lived on the top of their box, and it would have been bad news. It would have been bad news bears all day long. I think that I definitely want to see the same lineup going forward. There, we're definitely looking good, looking strong, and I thought that Declan Rice is just immense, just absolutely immense. I love this man. He's incredible. And like I said, all season, I said at the beginning of the season that I think if we win this title, he will be the reason we win this title. And I stand by that. I think he'll definitely be vice captain next season. I don't think Odegaard will be replaced. I think Odegaard is a very good captain. I'm a huge fan of Martin Odegaard, and I think he's had a fantastic game. And in the run-in this season, he's been fantastic. He's stepped up. I know that he's learned from the Champions League. I know that Arteta's learned from the Champions League. I know that the rest of the team, of course, also have taken their licks and learned our lessons. And we'll be back for that next season, of course. But yeah, all in all, I think this, it was important to continue to smash teams, to continue to be that much better than teams. And I'm very happy with the results. and very happy that we can march on. And yeah, we had the pressure on City, but they did not crumble. But I think we'll maybe wait and see if Lewis shows up before we get into that. We can take a look at the game today. Manchester United losing 4-0 to Crystal Palace. Whew. Whew. My word. I actually did watch this one today, watched the full 90, and it was wow. Wow. Men against boys. Men against boys. I think Crystal Palace will do a very good job. What up, Ness? How you doing?
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Just waxing lyrical about the game today. And
Chelsea, no, did Chelsea play today? No, Man U.
Palace beat United 4-0 today.
Yes, I saw that. It was ridiculous, but Man U sucks.
It was wonderful, and I was just wondering how Ten Hag has a job still.
Maybe he won't have one tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah, I've been refreshing the Twitter feed to find out, going on the Instagrams and clicking refresh on the BBC Sport to see if Ten Hag still has the gig.
Hey, hold on 1 second. My bad. Hold on 1 second.
You're good. But yeah, I think that Elise and Eze are just immense. They're absolutely immense, man. And I'm wondering because of Ollie Glasner's influence, if they are going to like try to keep them to or be able to keep them to. But of the four big names at Palace that it seems people are interested in, they are going to do really, really well to keep all four of them. Really, they might even lose Anderson, Gahey, Elise, and Eze. To be honest with you, I don't know much about Glasner other than the fact that he won the Europa League with Frankfurt. And that he's done a fantastic job since coming in with Palace. So maybe there's a shout for him convincing the dynamic duo to stay. Because today, man, Elise had his way with him. Just absolutely did nasty things on that pitch today, man. I knew because I think I predicted 3-1. Did I predict 3-1? I don't remember. I may have predicted 2-1 to Palace, but I was certain that they were going to win the game. But even I did not expect it to be that much. Yeah, I said 2-1 last time out. Even I didn't expect it to be that one-sided. Didn't expect it to be that crazy, to be honest with you. I figured Man United would. I guess what it was is finally not having, just the crazy long line of injuries. Finally not having, the proper people in the proper places. I mean, Eriksen, time to hang it up, brother. Casemiro. I felt bad for him today. Man. I've given him a ton of stick on this channel, of course, just because of how much gas Man United fans love to give to their players, but poor. He was poor today, man. And like when Mateta ran past Johnny Evans, I wasn't even like, I was just, all right. Okay. My response was like pity, like, oh, like I'm a Mateta fan, so I certainly, and I'm obviously have no love for Man United, but like there are like one of my best friends is a Man United fan. He don't deserve this. The fans don't deserve how poor Man United are. Like from an objective fans standpoint, taking my Arsenal bias out of it, the Man U fans deserve better, man. This isn't Ajax. This isn't the Dutch league. This isn't, this is Manchester United. It's one of the biggest. I'm shocked. It blows my mind that there are people in the Man United fan, as a part of the fan base, that still thinks he should stay. And I hear who else is out there? Who else could we get? Yo. I'm telling you, man. 4-0 to Crystal Palace? 4-0 to Crystal Palace. And your response is, who else could we get? Who's out there? Bring in Tommy Tuchel right now. Bring somebody. Anybody that wants the job should probably go in there and have it. I'll take the job. Send me. Sign me up. The Cup Chasers will put a coaching staff together and we'll come to England and we will coach Manchester United. I'm not going to say we're going to do great, but 4-0 to Crystal Palace? Something's got to be done. Hey, and listen, I'm an Arsenal fan. We'll put my Arsenal hat right back on. I hope he stays forever. I hope Ten Hag stays 17 seasons. I hope he's there longer than Alex Ferguson, because this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Let me take a look at this article I have here on BBC with some of the stats. Ten Hag is a record breaker. We'll just put it that way. Record breaker. 13 defeats is the most United have suffered in a Premier League season. They have never finished below 7th. They currently sit 8th. Only Forest have lost more games by a 4-goal margin or higher since the start of last season than Manchester United. What? They are going to concede the most goals they've ever conceded in a campaign. They're sitting on 81 all comps. They will be conceding more on Sunday. So they are going to break that record as well. Crystal Palace have never done a double over Manchester United in the Premier League. There's that one for you. And let's see what else is here. Yes. They haven't finished on negative goal difference since the Premier League began. Nez, I'm just reading out some of these stats here.
For United? Are we on United?
Yeah. We're still in United. I'm gonna run through them real quick again for you. 13, the most they've ever lost in a season. They've never finished below 7th. They're currently 8th. Only Forest have lost more goals by 4 or more since the start of last season than United. They have not ever. Palace has never done the double over Manchester United. They've conceded 81 goals all competitions, the tied for the most ever, or the most since 1977. They've not finished on a negative goal difference since the Premier League began in 1991. They are currently on neg 3 or neg 1 or something like that.
3. Yeah, neg 3.
And their 0.35 expected goals today, second worst of the season.
It's what's weird about the results is one, it came quick. I mean, in the chat, because I watched the second half, and in the chat, when you're talking about just it looked like United didn't even show up. They really didn't look like they showed up, dude. And the thing, what's confusing to me is there's a reason that they're allowing Ten Hag to stay, because it's beyond the personnel, because we already know the personnel is insufficient. It's been that way for years. So and they're making money off the brand. So what's the issue is that there's clearly a reason they're doing this. There's no other thing. Like, for example, if X and Patrick were here, they would talk about Chelsea in the rough times. Obviously, they had a good result. They also think there's a reason that they're doing. There's plenty of stories and stuff about there's a reason Chelsea's doing it. There has to be a reason that this is happening. There's no organization that this historically successful and still financially successful that they would continue on this path without a reason. There's a reason. I mean,
do you know what it is?
No, but I mean, as the supporter of a crosstown rival, I'm fine with them staying this way. I have no problem with them staying this way, and whatever plan they're executing, we appreciate it. But
long may it continue.
But you also look at it and you say, and I'm being honest, with the right manager and with the right sporting director, they could turn this around in a season or two, like instantly. They're united. They could be perennial. They were perennial top four and they were mediocre. So they could turn it around where their name still has cachet. There's still enough players out there who will go to a place for money and to be the ones that say, hey, we uplifted the badge, and you go in the pantheon of guys who have brought clubs back to where they are. Like Mo Salah. Mo Salah at Liverpool. We went to Liverpool, and Liverpool were they were like, he went there, and while I don't know if he'll get a statue, they'll appreciate when he's gone, right?
I mean, a Champions League in the first league in 30 years.
But the thing about it is but we also are living in the social media era where I think you brought it up as well, where they were getting on Salah, where they were blaming him for performances. So this is why I say, well, if there's any twinge, that twinge that in the social media era, people might be like, no, he doesn't deserve it, right? Even though it would be ludicrous to think that, it's still possible for them to feel that way because we've seen the extremes of all of it, right? And so when we look at this at United, I mean, it's insane that think about it. Names have continually gone there, even in their mediocrity. Cristiano Ronaldo went back. He's only 3 seasons removed, so it's not like
not even. It was January. So not this past one, a year and a half. Yeah,
he's 2 seasons removed. Think about before Ronaldo was Zlatan, but it's
Pogba.
It's not like they don't get people going there. So there's a reason behind it, and hey, maybe because we are yet to become the millionaire people. It's above what they say, above your pay grade to understand the logic of this. But if that's the way that's the way they work, and there's a spectrum of billionaire behavior, I'm gonna take the spectrum of the Sheik and the blue side of Manchester. I'm gonna take the perspective of the Cronkies at Arsenal. I'm gonna take all their perspectives. If that's how if I'm gonna choose my billionaire behavior.
Hey, I think that's segues are weird, and that one was perfect though, because Haaland absolutely had his way, just did him dirty, man. Roy Keane. What do you think about that?
Oh, the funny thing about that, for example, I understand why Haaland was angry. I think a lot of people were looking at that but that was new behavior from him, which I think is important to notice, because in that new behavior, it shows that and we mentioned it, that whatever this was going on before that moment was bothering him big time. And so you could see it manifest itself on the field. And so that game is very likely the first game he really felt like himself. Yeah. You could see it. He felt, even when he took the penalty, he looked super confident, no concerns. Mm-hmm. You could see he was like, I'm feeling like myself. And so for your manager to take you out, to be like, hey man, I feel like myself. Why are you taking me out? because obviously history was also on the line where you're like, okay, he could score 5 goals. I think only like 4 people have scored 5 goals in the Prem.
You remember? I know you remember when Aguero was on 5 goals and Pellegrini took him out and he was pissed. It was like the 60th minute. It was like, what was it, the 65th minute?
Yep.
And Aguero was like, "What are you doing? I'm trying to break records here, man."
But this is the thing is where, and you know this as a former player, and you've been on the other side to coach people. This is where the coach matters, because I could send you out there and somebody's coming studs up to jack you up, right? And you're like, well, why would they do that? Well, you know what? I'm, as the manager with 3 games left in my season, I have 3 games left. Sit down. You can be mad at me. Take that mad out and do what you need to do in the next game. Score more goals. Say, hey, this is a continuation of the last one. Yeah. And we understand, you know, where people look at it and they say, you know, because this era is so reactionary that, you know, he was a baby throwing the binky out in the pram. I'm trying to be as British as possible with my colloquialism, right?
Nice.
And so the thing about it is that it was funny that happened, but as soon as Alvarez scored, everyone noticed he was the first one up to cheer for him, because you see in his behavior, he's a team guy. I mean, obviously he cares about attention and he thinks he's good, but at the end of the day, he wants to win. And because he wants to win, it matters. But we also understand, and you played, so you understand, if you have a moment to make history and you think you'll never make it again, you try to seize it. But the manager, and you know, it's a weird slippery slope of, do I let him break history and then something happened to him? And then people say, well, you shouldn't have done that, right? Because that's all that comes back from that. There's only losses in that for the manager.
You know why Pep wins so much? Because he cares about silverware. Records come when you win. So when you win silverware, records come.
Yeah.
So Pep doesn't care. He does not care about your records. Okay?
Not at all.
Not even at all. What he does care about is if 10 minutes after he's like, you know what? No, let's leave him on. Let's go for the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. Let's go for it, Haaland. Get your goal records. Go, man. Yeah. 4 minutes later, breaks his leg in half. And he's out for a year and a half. Bro, no. Come on. You don't need the 20-minute. Like, I love it. Like, if it's me, like, objectively, I love seeing that. I love seeing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Havertz comes off and he's pissed after his hat trick or whatever, I love seeing that, you know.
Because they're hungry. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want the hungry play. Now it's lightning in the bottle, so you don't know if they're gonna do that in the next game. But they have that juice. But they have the juice in the next game. Right? And that's enough. And so
I think Pep should be like, look, Haaland, look at your last season. You smashed all the records. Stop worrying about records. You did it all. You did it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done it. You own pretty much all the records already.
Well, they said something like he's played 100 games and has 88 goals.
Stupid.
He has 88 goals. Like
he's played 94 games for City.
And it's about 81 goals, is that right?
And he's got 88 goals all comps.
I know it's something stupid. And so
League 2, yep, those are some League 2 numbers right there.
But here's the thing, it's the equivalent of the LeBron James or the Michael Jordan, that when Michael Jordan came back, he didn't win a title. Well, he's a bum, right? He's a bum. Yeah, he scored 60 points and beat everybody, but he didn't win a title. He's a bum. Right? And or LeBron, you only won 4 titles and went to the finals 8 years in a row. You're a bum. Like, Messi
never beat his own 93. You didn't score 95 goals the next season? What a loser.
You're an MLS. Why do you not have 100 goals already?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird.
That's actually a legitimate question.
I'm not touching that. But so the thing about it is that, you know what, Jake, I'm even going to use, and it's not sort of a detriment thing, because I think Arsenal's having a fantastic season. It's similar. You made the comment before too. You're like, we've made progress. We can't accept going backwards. If we're here, we got to stay here. But the thing about it is that we also have to recognize as humans and this temporary space that it's lightning in a bottle. The season is the season. Enjoy the season. Enjoy the moment. And if you get to do it again, awesome. It won't feel the same. It won't be the same, but it's awesome. And so you look at that, and so I get it. Now the whole Roy Keane thing, I don't even understand, man. Just it's.
Well, here's the question. Let me ask the question that I asked in the chat. I think that's the real crux for me that I get out of why Roy Keane, what Roy Keane is saying. I think he's a clown. I think he's fantastic. He was a fantastic player.
Yeah, he was.
But I agree with Patrick when he put in the chat, because I asked in the chat, I said, do you think that being a pundit after your career and being an idiot in your punditry can tarnish your legacy, your name, your reputation as a whole? Like for me, I was jaded about Tim Howard before he became an analyst, and now it's even worse because he says dumb things. But Roy Keane, this for me, you're just wrong. Like some opinions can be wrong. Like Lee Cattermole is not better than Xavi Hernandez, no matter how much of a Sunderland fan you are.
Right. For me, I'm going to be honest. I think it's a case-by-case basis for the following reason. I think your greatness will determine how much of an idiot you can be on the other side. And the reason I say that is if Michael Jordan, again, is my example.
I like that.
But Michael Jordan's my example because Michael Jordan was terrible as an owner. He was terrible as a manager, like GM. And the only thing that he was really, really good at was playing the game.
Was winning games. And
people can say, well, he sells sneakers well, but he doesn't do that. People run that for him. He
pays somebody to do that.
Right. When it's him, when he's the one doing it, he has shown to be mediocre compared to like what the standard of the world is, because he's not a mediocre person at all. But mediocre compared to the rest of the world based on the bar he set as a player. And we as humans tend to create or try to equate, if you're good at this, you should be good at this. But we already know most great players suck at coaching because everything came to them naturally. So they can't understand you. Well, why can't you do a spin and do things off your toes? Why can't you do that?
Lampard's issue.
Right, because you can't. Because I'm not you, dude.
Right, the antithesis of Lampard's issue when he manages.
No, I think you nailed it, X. Lampard's problem was the people that played for him were not as good as him.
No, and he thought they should be.
And he expected them to do the things that Drogba and Essien and Michael Ballack and those men were doing. And
John Obi Mikel and
if he was there with Cole. So if Frank Lampard coached and managed Cole Palmer, I could see him having a standard for that because I think Cole is ascending.
They're
to
similar.
Yes. I get that, but there's nobody else. So why would you coach him that way? And this is where people say mediocre players are great managers because their body didn't allow them to do it, but they understood.
They can see the game as long as you can understand the
game. Like Jorginho is going to be a fantastic.
He's going to be a fantastic man. That's why Xabi Alonso is going to be a fantastic.
But Xavi Hernandez.
But you got to think. But when you talk
Xavi Hernandez was involved so much with the ball, like Xavi got to sit back and play that central. I'm going to just bully you off this as soon as it comes into my sector. Like he played.
But the jury's still out on him, though. The jury's still out.
I will if they go all the way. Anyway, jury's still out. I can understand one perfect season shouldn't make your entire coaching career.
Well, he's going to stay.
His issue is the system because lots of teams run that system and they think it's just a plug and play. But Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta have shown you have to personalize that system. Otherwise,
you hear what Kristen thinks about it.
Well, she thinks it's amazing too.
Yeah. No, but I agree. I agree with you.
And so I say, if Lionel Messi learns English, or we understand his Spanish, and Messi says stupid stuff every time he's a pundit, it's not gonna. I don't think it changes that Messi was Messi. Henry, I think Henry was one of the greatest to ever touch the field. Most people in the Premier League agree with that. He's maybe the greatest player to ever play in the Prem. He says some kooky stuff, and you're like, but he's Henry. Right?
He's a perfect example of what you were saying about Lampard. If you hear him talk about a forward's run or a striker's finish, or
you should have just cut it back to your left and then bend it around. It's like
praising the way someone's moved, or praising the way a forward has spun the defender or something. But when he starts talking about, the defender should do this, or the midfield should be set up this way, it's like, okay, buddy, I love you, but
I love you. Yeah.
Let's let Jamie Carragher make a fool of himself on that segment.
Right.
But because, for example, Henry, I think, said he was like, hey, De Bruyne has a football brain, but he said he doesn't have the patience to be a manager. And some people just got to know, hey, man, you know what? I know what you can do, and I know what I would do if I was on the field, and I'm going to be furious.
He's going to be a perfect midfield coach.
No,
he's going to be a perfect midfield director or whatever.
You're on the coaching staff. You're not the manager.
You're not the manager, but you control the midfield.
You're there. You're Petr Cech.
Lots of people have said like Gundogan is going to be a great manager. I agree with that. I think he's going to be a good manager.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he'll be a good manager.
I actually have not heard him speak on the game much.
He has a temperament that you can see. I think he'll be a good manager because he was managed by Klopp and Pep, and now he has Xavi. And I think he'll be a good manager because he already has his badges too.
Already, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I think he was taking his badges when he was at Manchester.
Yeah,
but good. So I say so for the Roy Keane thing. Roy Keane was great, but he wasn't to the level of greatness where he could just say stuff like that. I'll put it like that. Where it can tarnish him because he's not the summit. Because I don't think anyone accounted him as the summit. Like if we go to Manchester United and say, who was the greatest player to play at Manchester United?
Sir Bobby Moore.
But we wouldn't say him.
Why?
No, I'm not saying. So we would pick someone other. And so I think because if Messi's the greatest player to ever play at Barcelona. So if Messi says something stupid, you're like, well, but he didn't win us a bunch of trophies. So I'm going to let him say the stupid thing.
Yes.
I'm going to let him say it. Like, for example, if all of a sudden, after Pep is finished, and he starts to say crazy old man senile stuff, even though he's a young dude.
It's Jose. All you're talking about is Jose.
Yes!
That's it. That's all you're talking about.
Jose's the perfect example.
The perfect that encompasses everything you're talking about. It's Jose.
Because Jose's, but because the thing is, Jose is still smart as all get out.
Oh yeah.
But he don't have a temperament to be around the guys anymore, man.
No, he's already called them. He said they were petulant children.
He's done with that.
Jose is a different kind of Frank Lampard, where it's like he's gotten to the point where like none of y'all are as good as we used to be, and I'm pissed about it.
Right. Why can you can't handle my coaching style because you can't handle
because you're not Lampard.
My coaching style.
Because you're not Drogba.
I need you to be here to do the things I'm talking about. Right.
You could be the best player in the world right now, but you suck because you can't handle how I do things.
Absolutely.
So
another
answer to that.
Yeah. Another thing
from Alfie Haaland, somebody made a joke about what Keane said. And I didn't know, like Alfie Haaland laughed at it, right? And I'm like, is that really Alfie? And it was really Alfie laughing at it because, I mean, literally, I think, and it's because Alfie is obviously his contemporary. It's like, whatever, man. He's an old man saying old man stuff. Just whatever. I don't care.
Do you buy into the whole, like, there's a family feud thing there?
Oh, yeah.
I can see it. I mean, like, I think that the rivalries that existed when we were kids were like real. They hated each other rivalries, and the rivalries today are not real at all. So a lot of those things carry over, even when these dudes are in their 50s and 60s. Of I hate you still.
Oh,
I wonder if Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane met in a dark alley off camera.
They might fight.
They
might get
in
some fisticuffs.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I still remember you, mother effer. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
the other contentious moment in this, I'll start out and not get anyone triggered. I'll go ahead with my air quotes. Contentious moment that I do want to discuss, and not because I think it would affected the game at all, but because it's something that we've seen in the league, is the first penalty, or the Ait-Nouri penalty, right? So Ait-Nouri goes to kick the ball. Gavardio gets to it first and sends it into Rosed, but then Ait-Nouri clobbers him, right? But Ait-Nouri doesn't have any idea that he's there. He doesn't it's the same penalty that Arsenal gave away to Spurs, right?
Yeah.
Homie's coming in, Rice doesn't know he's there,
Exactly.
and he kicks the family jewels, right?
Right. In the bloodline.
Personally, I'm not arguing that that's a clear pen. It was a clear pen against Rice. I know they're going to give a clear pen against Ait-Nouri. No argument for me. My question is, do we have a problem with this rule? Because there's literal zero intent from Rice or Ait-Nouri. They have no idea that the dude that they're coming in, that the other player's coming in to get the ball before them. You know, they are literally, oh, this is mine, and I'm swinging for it. But then somewhere from the side or out of, because neither Rice nor Ait-Nouri like really make a move to try and. It's a clear just swinging for a kick. It's not like a tackle. They're swinging for a kick.
It's a defender's clearance. That's all it is. It's a defender's clearance. I'm just swinging. I'm getting a boot on it because it's going that way. I just need the ball that way.
Is it harsh and it is what it is, or is it something that needs to be looked at?
I agree in premise, but I think the issue is I think they would call that a foul everywhere else.
It's hard. It's harsh. It's hard. It's both.
It's harsh, but I think it's a foul. And so if it's a foul in the box.
It's both. For me,
I think it's a stonewall foul
because it is a foul every time. It is a foul, and as an offender, it's going to go one of three ways for you. You're either going to get there maybe in the nick of time, get the kick, and you're going to absolutely just get blasted. B, you get there late and absolutely get blasted, or you get there late and it's a foul on you.
Right, but either way, it was a foul somewhere.
It's a foul, It's gonna be it. That's the fork in the road, and it sucks because it usually tends, especially in today's game, goes towards the offensive player.
Yes.
More times than not.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It sucks, but I chalk it up to it's one of those beautiful, unsuspecting moments that we kind of love about the game because it's at free flow, because it is a free flow based game. Things like that are bound to happen, and sometimes they end up in your favor and sometimes they don't. But when it does, it can be game changing, which is why, again, we love the game.
And I think it happens a lot. I mean, you can think of throughout the season where you're like, man, some guy fouled my guy, but he didn't even see my guy coming. That happens all the time. And they call a foul. And you're like, well, there's no intent, but like we've all
said. It's been called
like,
against you this season as well.
Oh,
yeah, like,
you drew to Palace. The City Palace 2-2 was that penalty was because of the same reason.
Yeah. And so you look at it and you say, you know what? At the end of the day, the only question I have, is it a foul? If it's a foul and it's in the box, I don't know what else to say. But I agree. Was it harsh? A little bit.
I think as the game progresses, Jake, I think you're onto something. As the game progresses, they will, once they can freeze, like once they get more angles, more control on how they want to monitor this game, they could break that down frame by frame by frame by frame, turn the angles all 360, see where his eyes are actually looking, and been like, oh, it's just 50-50 ball. They both hit each other. It is what it like. The ref needs to play advantage. All right, there's your equalizing, right? The ref plays advantage, lets either the defense clear it or the offense get the shot. Then they go back and review the actual collision.
I think that's a different can of worms, though. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole call on the field can of worms.
That's where this whole.
But it perfectly goes with my theme this evening of VAR was absolutely terrible, and I have spoken already on the show about the Arsenal game, but I wanted to get y'all's opinions on it. And because we already did a little bit of a segment, I just want to ask about the big ones. What do you think about the Havertz pen? Did you see that? Did you see that one? Clear simulation, clear dive. He's left his leg in, completely left his leg in, Harry Kane style, and the keeper has, you know, scraped the bottom of his boot, and he's gone down easy. It's a dive. It's clear and utter simulation for me.
You know, looking at it, just I mean, I'm not going to be that guy, right? Did he cheat him?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know how you could. I mean, yes, they said they would give yellow cards for stuff like that, but then it's about the officials' choice to recognize it as that, right? Because you have to recognize it as that. Because you can make justification of your head. Well, was there contact, or did it look like contact? And realistically, if we're looking at fouls, we can be like, does it look like contact? That's enough, right?
You know, I agree, Lewis, if it's a defender, but all season they've been letting keepers kind of get away with this. They've been letting keepers slide with this one for non-calls.
This one's just clear and obvious to me. Like the whole VAR doesn't want to overturn it unless it's a clear and obvious error.
Neuer doesn't get called for what he did.
Yeah,
this he didn't commit as much as this keeper, but he knew Havertz knows there's going to be contact,
just like Saka did. I think the bigger problem is the culture and the environment that's been created. This, you know, both Kai and Saka's first instinct was to dive instead of trying to slot it home. But
I mean, he had him beat. He did have him beat.
Also, Ryan Christie studs up, draws blood, nothing. There's a literal. The gash on Saka's leg was so bad, the medical team put out an injury update today. What? There was an injury update for the scar my man's going to have, and there wasn't even a VAR check. Unbelievable.
Now, if I'm being honest, that's the whole we're giving them one back sort of stupidity that exists.
It was the 10th minute. The Ryan Christie challenge was in the 10th minute.
I'm just saying, you know, they're like, we're giving them back because we don't think whatever. You know how this shit. You know how this goes. You know how.
I mean, yeah, the refs had a shocker, and also I think
they know that that's going to dictate the rest of that game. That's clear.
Yeah.
That's clear.
But you know, I think that Kai should get that yellow, and so Kai also got another yellow, so Kai would have been sent off as well if the game was officiated as it was. But the red card, we know. I know things don't happen in a vacuum, right? We can say, oh, Bournemouth should have their goal, and Arsenal shouldn't have had that pin, but Ryan Christie should also have that red. But for me, none of the rest of that happens if Ryan Christie gets the red. We wreck them. We wreck them if he gets that red. You know, and so none of this other contentious stuff happens. But also the David Raya push. Like I can't say anything about it because that's Arsenal's bread and butter. Let's put Ben White on somebody and get away with as much as they'll let me get away
let
with.
Ben White unclip gloves and tie shoelaces together.
Here's my thing about it. If Solanke doesn't look guilty, he gets away with it.
Again, I have touched on this again on this show. I've touched on this. You as a player have to know and get used to unselling what you've just done. He knows what he's done, and he knows how important it is, and he knows so he sells it on his face. He, like you said,
go watch it in real time. The referee isn't even watching the play anymore. No. He's watching Solanke. He's looking right at Solanke, and because Solanke moves away and goes like this, he gives the foul. And the whites of his eyes get all big. And like, I didn't do anything. Look, when I was playing for CSU, actually I think it was the Playgrats one time. The goalkeeper, I was playing forward, right? And the goalkeeper, they passed the ball back to the goalkeeper, and I was pressuring him, and I was getting too close, and so he tries to spin and get in between me and the ball and trips. I swear to God, I did not touch this man.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. I swear to God, I did not touch this guy, right?
Yeah.
He trips and falls, and the ball squirts away. There's literal 30 yards of grass between me and the goal, and that's it, right? And I'm immediately like, holy shit, I didn't touch him. Please don't call the foul. I'm like, dude, I and you know me, X.
Oh,
you know, I was Bruno Fernandes. I got in the ref's face.
Oh,
I didn't touch him. I didn't touch him. What?
Yeah, what the
and he goes, bro, you threw your hands up looking all guilty. What did you expect me to do?
Yep.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. He's like, you looked really guilty. So what did you expect?
Exactly.
And I was like, no. I think the ref from my reaction knew. He's like, oh, he really didn't touch the guy.
He really did.
Because I was just like,
but it's too late.
Like, is he
yeah, way too late. Yeah.
Way too late. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if these guys would like, you know, it's like when the West Ham game in the FA Cup, when Thomas Souček knew that there was no VAR. He's absolutely manhandled Ramsdale in the goal on the corner kick, one of the 3 goals we gave up. He's manhandled him, but there's no VAR. So he knew he was going to get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't look guilty, and Solanke gets away with it.
Yep, 100%.
Throw your hands up, and you get away with it. Me personally, I think the way the game is being officiated these days, yes, it's a foul, and yes, it should be called. I don't think the way I think the game should be officiated, that's some real pansy stuff. But
right, it's a contact sport. Right?
We grew up watching Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira kicking the absolute out of each other.
And then if Petr Cech's coming through, or Neuer, or Ollie Kahn is coming for that ball, if he's coming for that ball,
you're getting
three dudes are getting knocked out by a flying kneecap.
There will be blood.
Oh yeah, dude.
There will be blood, and that was back when
Raya's not falling on his face. He's absolutely just kicking the dude while he's absolutely
oh man, just
curb stomp anyway. One to get an extra little jump. Like, he did,
just a little.
But anyway, Arsenal were awesome. We're awesome. I'm awesome. We're gonna win.
Yeah, no, they played well, man.
West Ham are gonna lay down on the last day and absolutely.
Speaking of West Ham. Segues are weird. What are you telling me, X? Big game.
It was a great game. No Enzo, man.
No, do you think that's what it is, or is it Cuckoo inverting?
It's no Enzo. Proof's in the pudding. That's the 4th game.
How many goals have y'all scored in those 4 games?
Right.
A lot.
Right, a lot. A lot. Enzo and Caicedo, we've said it time and time again. One's going to get punished for it ultimately, and one's not. One's going to be the bad guy in the situation. They are the same exact player.
Caicedo's killing it, though, man. He's been good for
without
games,
Enzo.
2-3 games.
Without Enzo playing the same exact way, Caicedo gets to play his game, and he's the only one playing that kind of kick back, hit that line pass, and he's the play before the play. And Caicedo's able to hold the ball up and do that. And it seems like Enzo just puts us into more trouble, thinking, again, maybe he got spoiled playing with Argentina. The guys he's playing with are not that good, bro. The guys he's playing with right now are not that good. They're not that guy. You're not passing it to Messi. So you can't send passes in like you are sending them into Messi. But I just think without Enzo, that midfield's a different team.
Well,
we had our scoring boots on.
Do you think they I mean, I'm saying no, but I figure I ask because I'm not sort of in tune with Chelsea the same way you are. Do you think they're gonna listen to anybody bid for him? I hate to use the word stuck, so you're stuck with him.
I do, but I think the role changes because, like, believe it, I don't like it, but I do think the writing's on the wall because of FFP and other issues. When Connor goes, Enzo slides forward. Connor's playing where Connor played to build the value. I just, until I'm proven wrong, I will die on that hill.
You don't sound happy about that.
No, I'm not. I love Connor. I think the roles need to be switched, but they're not. No one's going to pay 60, 70 mil for Conor Gallagher if he's played Enzo's position all season. But if they can see Conor Gallagher put up 8, 9, 10 goals and have goal contributions, somebody will pay 60, 70 million for Conor Gallagher, which is what they need to balance the FFP.
I mean, didn't he have a nasty finish in this game?
Oh, dude, he volleyed one just absolutely. He hit a goal. Like, I love that goal. Like, that is my favorite. If I get to pick a spot, pick a goal that I want to hit in any game, it's that kick back, ball still in the air. You just get to cleanly lace it with no spin, just absolutely bang it home. It was clean, composed. In the box where he should have been. The ball fell to him where he should have been, which isn't really his problem. His problem is finishing, but he hit it clean and he finished one. Second goal put us ahead, and then the death nail came right behind it. 2 and 3 came back to back. So,
and then Jackson did his thing.
Madueke, yeah, then the FIFA goal served him up on a silver platter.
I'm not gonna lie. When the ball went past Areola and it was just Jackson on the open goal, I was a little worried.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I'm trolling, man. I'm an ass.
C19's not that far. C19's actually at that angle, so he might.
Did you just say it's not that far?
Not that. No, I'm saying it's at that angle. And he could Lukaku it over into C19 from there.
Hey, man, we've seen crazy things from 2 yards out before.
I've seen crazy things, especially from
this season.
Especially from blue shirts.
No, but I do want to actually say, as much crap as I've given Madueke this season, yes. I think Madueke has been good in the last 2-3 games. You love to see a man. You love to see a man taking people on like that.
Yes, I think he's finally feeling healthy. He's rested enough. I think he's finally got his confidence back a little bit. That's place in the team. I don't necessarily like his attitude. That's just me. I don't like him as a teammate. I don't like him in the locker room, but if you're producing, numbers speak for themselves to a certain degree, but I do think he's more dissension in our forward project than anyone else. Maybe him and Jackson than anyone else in that locker room.
Well,
and Poch loves him, and I don't understand why.
Well, I have a question, though, because Patrick said something in the chat, and then he kind of backed off it. I like he said it, but then he backed off. You guys could finish 5th.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think he said something along the lines of basically book it. And then I was like, yeah, I like that. And he was like, well, we'll see. No. You got to stick with the book it. You can't be like, we're going to do it.
Listen, man.
There's one problem. There's one big problem. There's one big problem to that.
United are absolutely.
It's not United. United's not your problem. The biggest issue is Newcastle.
Newcastle gaining, they need to drop
because they play Manchester United. They play Brighton and they play Brentford.
Well, that's how I meant. That's how I meant United.
9 points.
Well, that's how I meant United, Jake. United are downfall. They're not going to beat anybody else, and I think we need Spurs to lose to them, and I think we need Newcastle to at least draw or lose.
You're 2 points behind.
Yeah.
So all you need
is them to drop a game.
Is to drop.
They won't. It's home to Brighton. It's at Mold Trafford.
No, they got 22 goals on you.
They have like 11.
They're going to smash Brighton at St. James's.
Yep.
They're going to smash United at Mold Trafford.
Well,
and then it's Brentford on the final day. So,
do we know?
Spurs could lose out. Spurs could realistically lose out.
Spurs could easily lose out.
If they lose out and us, if Spurs lose out and us and Newcastle bump and Newcastle and us win out,
Chelsea only needs them to lose 1.
We get 6.
Chelsea need United and Newcastle to draw at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that would be the most. That would be the.
If that happens,
no, but they would be fine if United wins against Newcastle because they'll have superior goal difference. Realistically, a United win would benefit them if they're playing.
I'm just saying that because I don't believe United will beat.
United's not going to beat Newcastle.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
If they do, it benefits Chelsea.
It's huge.
Huge.
It's massive.
Massive. But that's United. See, and this is why I hate Manchester United. The one time I need you guys You are absolutely about to get your manager sacked on the beach with Graham Potter at
Look,
the resort.
United rose. The only time United could rise, they rose. They knocked Liverpool dizzy. And Liverpool have not been the same since they lost in the last second of that FA Cup quarterfinal to Manchester United. Because they turned around and drew again at United. They've been awful since then, really. And they've completely found out. So United, they did their bit this season, and they took a contender down. They helped out everybody already this season. I don't think they're going to be doing much more. They just lost 4-0.
I just need sixth. I'm not even asking for fifth.
But you can get fifth.
I think you got sixth. I think you can get sixth.
Just want to go. Send us to the Conference League. Send us back.
You know what, bro? Oh man, I don't know. Spurs play Burnley and Sheffield before the end of the season.
Right. It's new.
I'm as big a Spurs hater as there is, but
they'll win those games, right?
Bro,
right.
Burnley have to win. Burnley have to. They absolutely not like a hyperbole, not like it's a statistical must. And Forest can't pick up any more points.
Right.
So Burnley have to beat Spurs. Have to.
And Spurs
100%.
Really but Spurs are playing for Europe at that point. If it's that close, Spurs will be trying to fight for their Euro spot.
Honestly, Spurs, if they ship it to Burnley, they'll be in trouble going into that City game. Because they are going to be in danger of dropping out.
Oh yeah,
they are going to be in danger, man.
I just to kind of put a bow on all of it. I like what I saw. I saw cohesion. I saw consistency. I saw a defensive mindset. But I also saw, and this all wrapped up, we looked good. We scored our goals. We finished a lot of our chances. West Ham were on the beach.
onthebeach.com, bro.
Bro, to leave runners that much space in between your gaps for your back line, your back four aren't going to close their gaps. They're just going to let Jackson stand in between them and just hit the run. No one's going to close out space ever in the entire game. They just let him sit in the gap, and it's Beach FC. They're done. Like they played like they did.
Yeah, Moyes got fired today.
Knew he was gonna get fired.
Like they're done. The season's done, bro. I have no faith that they're gonna do anything. City played them on the last game of the season.
That's what I'm saying. They could give City the league on the last day.
Nothing.
They're not showing up. They don't even have a coach.
No, they do. It's Lopetegui. He's already agreed.
Yeah, it's true.
But man, yeah,
they're on cruise control.
West Ham.
We got our trophy. We got our one trophy we needed for the next 20 years. We're done as long as we stay in the league.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at some of their recent results, man, I think they tried to pull a Chelsea and put all of their eggs in the Europa League basket, and then they got drawn with Leverkusen.
Oh, their Cinderella season.
Like their run is insane too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro. Yeah. Oh, Leverkusen, yeah, it's a fairy tale, man. Are you talking about West Ham's run?
No, Leverkusen.
Oh yeah.
It's a fairy tale.
Shout out to them, because that's incredible.
It's Leicester winning the league, man. That's what it is.
They're way better than that, man. Like Leicester, everybody was bad. Leverkusen is good.
Yeah, but Bayern are not good either. They lost 5-1 at the weekend, bro.
But Leverkusen are good.
Bayern don't give two. Germany gets 5 spots, right? Was it decided? Germany? Yeah. Germany gets 5 spots. They don't care. Bayern does not care. They will win. Germany might get 6 spots, right? No, Germany might get 6.
No, it's 5 because Italy gets
the winner doesn't move down.
Italy gets 5 and Germany gets 5.
But if
doesn't matter.
No,
5's the max.
It doesn't go down.
5 is max.
Okay, I see.
But I hear what you're saying in a Manchester United way, but Bayern don't function like Man U, so they care. which is why
They
they're
do
getting
care.
rid of their manager. So
They do care.
But there's rumors that Ten Hag might go to Bayern.
Let him. I thought it was
No,
going to be Flick.
keep him in you.
I thought it was going to be Flick.
Flick signed for Austria. He stayed in Austria.
Wow.
Yep.
Who are they going to? Anyway, whatever.
It's looking like Nagelsmann's coming back, maybe.
I would not take. You got fired on Twitter, bro.
he did get fired on Twitter.
Hey man, if the phone ain't ringing,
Like if
the
you
phone
don't have
just
enough
be ringing, bro.
if you don't have enough respect for me to call me into the office and fire me to my face instead of my PR team having to call me and be like, "Hey, yo, I think the team just fired you." Oh, I heard from.
I'm not sure, but I think the team just
sure.
fired you.
But Teresa, who posts the tweet for the team, said that you were fired.
Did they not call you?
No.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops.
My bad. My bad.
Oh my God, man.
Or
But
maybe
speaking
she
of
was
that,
supposed to- Go ahead. No,
yes.
no.
Speaking of that, X, is Poch doing enough?
If we get into Europe, 2 finals. Hear me out. I'm mad about the finals. I wanted to win. Granted, if we beat City, that's a final anyway. Because Man U's about to get dog walked in that final. Just absolutely on a leash. Oh, do you think this is a Manchester derby? No, it's going to be welcome to the slaughterhouse. Like,
Bro.
embarrassed.
And imagine if they blow the league and Arsenal win the league and City are just pissed.
Oh, it's going to be
Imagine
angry.
if West Ham. Imagine if it's West Ham. Imagine if they draw West Ham and lose on the final day of the league.
Angry Bears.
And they're going into the FA Cup final.
No.
Somebody's getting punished for this.
Somebody's getting leg absolutely. Bro, no. They don't even have a defense.
Ten Hag won't survive the game.
They don't even have a defense, dude. Thor's just going to absolutely score 15 goals. You have no center back. Casemiro's playing center back.
I wouldn't call that playing. He's there.
He's there.
But
But
Johnny Evans is the only bro. Did you see Mateta just right around him? Oh my God, dude. Yeah, it's peak, as they say in England. But yeah, man, I think that it's looking like Poch might be resurrecting his job here. And,
if he can get us into Europe, I'll be fine.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's kind of blowing my mind. Like, if Chelsea end up finishing, even if you finish 6th, I'm still going to be sitting here like,
How? We stayed in 12th and 10th place literally for 88% of the season.
What? You weren't good in. You said it, X. Our season started.
Our season started 3 weeks ago.
Season started 3 weeks ago.
Bro, we're fresh.
And you're killing the game.
No, that was 14 injuries. That was last season. We don't have anybody. We don't have anybody in the hospital. That was 3 weeks ago.
Yo, that is wow. Absolutely crushing it. Yeah, I mean,
if he can get us there and everyone else drops the ball and he didn't, he capitalized on the chances. I mean, that's what it's all. I mean, yeah, you lost a final. I'm highly upset. Lost a semifinal by a close margin. Highly upset. Correct the mistakes you made. Get us back there. Get us back into those finals. Make deep runs into these tournaments. Put us in top 4. Put us in Europe.
Just run it back. That's what you've lacked. That's what the fans have been calling for all season long. Finally, you run it back 3 games in a row.
Just consistency.
And you cook it.
Just consistency. And you know what sucks? You know what absolutely sucks about all this talk about consistency and run it back? You got 3 games left. 2 games. 3 games left.
Yeah, you
everyone
have 3.
comes
Not every
back.
team has 3, but you do.
Right. Everyone comes back from injury in the summer. You have no consistency starting all over again with all of those starters coming back off of IR. All of them come back. James displaces Gusto.
There's got to be a clear out, bro.
I mean,
You
yeah,
gotta
that's what I'm
sell
saying.
guys, man.
It's another mass exodus, and then you're gonna see Chelsea ex rejects like Milan absolutely balling and killing it everywhere else. Sterling,
I think Poch should just be ruthless. I
I
think
do
they
too.
should just let Poch be ruthless and be like, look, these are the guys that delivered at the end of the season.
Yep.
We made Conference League, whatever.
Yep.
These are the guys that delivered. These are the guys that start next season. Now, if you stop delivering, okay, here's Lavia. Okay, here's Nkunku. Okay, here's the next guy. Here's the next guy. You didn't
I think
perform, here's the next guy.
I think Jackson's immediately displaced by Christopher Nkunku.
I don't know, man. I don't know. With all these Drogba comparisons and you know, it's the same question I'm asking of Arsenal fans. You know, like say Havertz scores 3 more goals and we win the league. Does that change the narrative about a striker? If Jackson dunks 4 more goals and y'all make 5th, you know, and Homie's hit 19 goals this season.
And Palmer's on tied for Golden Boot again.
At the end of the season, as much as in the middle it was like, oh my God, this guy is hot dog water. At the end of the season, if he's got the numbers and you've succeeded, clearly you've improved because you're not 12th anymore.
Right.
Just saying, like
this is honestly, have I not been calling for this all season? Like, yes, I'm still probably in a Poch out camp. I think someone could do better. I truly think there's more managers on the market right now that could do better.
Still think TT could come back and do it?
I do. I think TT could do better. I think they've proven it. TT could do better. I don't think we should ever got rid of him. I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that led to all of this. I think Conte could do better. Conte's going to come in and be ruthless. He's going to start.
But now that there's a little bit of continuity, there's a little bit of success. There's a little bit of you can kind of see what's happening. Why not give him another?
I will eat again, but I'd love to have time to give him another season. I'm sorry, but this is Chelsea Football Club. We deserve to be.
But you've gone from 12th to maybe 5th to maybe 6th. That's huge.
Exactly. Get us in. That was my standard at the beginning of this entire season. Yeah, I would love to come top 4. Get us into Europe. We are a European club. We play European tournaments. We win European tournaments. That's what builds our fan base. That's what keeps our money flow correct. That's what gets our club. That's what gets our mentality. That's our DNA. Get us back to Europe. If he does that, he accomplished the goal in as hard as it is losing the finals and the cups, which are easy ins to Europe. If he does it on a placement scale that shows he can run a marathon and come at least top 5, top 6.
Even Conference League?
I'm fine with Conference League because I truly believe we could go into Conference League and help that build that young squad that we have. The boys need to be playing in Conference League because when they win Conference League, it's going to show them, but they deserve to be in Europa. And when they win Europa or are challenged for Europa and go deep into that tournament, it's going to show them they deserve to be on a Champions League night. Because if they play Madrid on a Thursday night, they're going to absolutely get wrecked.
I think you're right because I think it's far different than my experience in Europe because Arteta doesn't take cups seriously. So
right
with Poch, he obviously does take cups seriously, and you said it yourself. Chelsea always take cups seriously. I mean, if I can definitely see it. Chelsea win the Conference League, and then you guys start claiming, oh, we're the only London club to win all the Europa trophies. You know, blah 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 blah.
That's the last one we need.
Add another
little
tool right there, you know, and so yeah. But I like the way you put it as, you know, it would be a progression because you kind of have to take that approach. That's the approach.
That's how we got back to winning the Champions League, right? We won the Champions League. We had a massive clear out. Eden Hazard and Cahill are the absolute, and Azpilicueta are now the backbone of our squad. And then we go to the Europa League and absolutely smash it. It puts us right because we came in 11th. Then we won the Europa the same way we got back to Champions.
Don't remind me about that. I don't need to
same way we got back to Champions. Win Champions League, we were in 9th place or 10th place. Absolute dog water. We get into Europa. We come in 10th place, win the Europa, so now we're back in champs. Like, that's what kept us stable. It allowed us the rubber banding that we needed this season. Now we don't have a cup to sit there and be like, yeah, we can come in 7th, everything's fine. Now it is this mad dash for him to keep his job.
Yeah, fair enough.
But the boys, and I truly think the boys are bought in, though. The boys he's playing are the ones who are bought in. Madueke, I don't like him, they do love each other. Poch loves Madueke. Madueke loves the fact that Poch loves him because he's the egotistical prick.
As long as there's that, like you don't have to like them. As long as they like each other.
Yeah, as long as they're a band of thieves that like each other, I don't care. But Palmer,
yeah, I can hate them as long as they're doing it on the pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Speaking of doing it on the pitch, or maybe not, has Ange ball been found out? That's the question.
Deep runs.
Spurs have not lost 4 games in a row in 20 years, and I'm here for it, baby.
They need to lose 2 more. 2 more. You need to lose.
Yes.
Keep Burnley up.
Lose to Burnley. Lose to Sheffield.
Keep Burnley up.
Lose to Burnley. You know, do Nez a favor. Do Lewis a favor because we know he wants Vince to stay up. You know, so lose to Burnley. Then do me a favor. Then do me a favor, please. And then lose to Sheffield, of course. At the end. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't see. If Spurs don't beat Sheffield on the final day, it won't surprise me. This is like, at some point, you have to understand, and I'm only saying this as a fan. Yes, I'm not a Premier League manager. I didn't coach the Australian national team, and I didn't coach Celtic or the Yokohama. I forget what the mascot is, the team name is. But I've watched the league for 20 years, and I've never seen a manager win the league or be really successful without having to adapt at some point. Like, I get it, Highline for life. It's easy on the eye. It's fun to watch. But you're getting wrecked at the back. Time in and time out. And if you think for a second that Erling Haaland isn't licking his chops at that high line.
You know what's interesting, Jake, is you brought up a point that, you know, a lot. I remember the pundit saying that Pep ball wouldn't work in England. And then the first season they finished 3rd. And they got rid of Joe Hart and had Claudio Bravo out here just giving up howlers. Mm-hmm. But Pep stuck with what it was because he was waiting to get his players, but he also knew that the ownership group and the management was going to get him those players. So I'll say this: if Ange stays the way he is, he has to believe that Levy is going to get him the people he's supposed to get him, because that's the only way that you can stick with this. The only way you stick with it is you get the person.
He's going to need Wile E. Coyote on a rocket and the Roadrunner playing back line for him because Mickey Van de Ven's the only one fast enough to keep up with this.
Hey, man. You never know if Wile E. Coyote shows up.
Who's he going to buy? Walker from 07? Like,
Lewis, do you believe, though? Do you believe that Levy has convinced Ange of that?
He has to. That's the. I think just
because Levy's the most notorious, stingy owner of the whole league.
Scrooge McDuck, man.
But while he's Scrooge McDuck, when Pochettino came, Pochettino bought a bunch of players, right?
That was bail money.
That was bail money.
But he spent money, right?
And they were dog.
But
they bought Dele Alli, bro.
The first season.
But they were decent after that. They got Harry Kane money, and based on how selling one player lasts for 35 years in the Premier League for every other team, I feel like the Harry Kane money will exist next year and the year after that, especially if they do the cap thing, right? The cap that they're proposing or that they're going to do. I can't remember if they're going to do it or not. I think we've talked about this. There's going to be a lot of movement, and I'm sure they have targeted the guys that need to be there. For example, Spurs need a striker. Period. Sonny needs a striker. Sonny's good, and he's got numbers, right? Because you were mentioning, he doesn't, but he has numbers. He has numbers. If you just look at his numbers, you'd be like, man, Sonny is.
He's got over 20 GA. He's got over 20 GA this season.
That's what I'm saying. You look at Sonny's numbers, great numbers. Look at the team's record.
Terrible.
But but no, it's not necessarily because they are. I mean, they're in Europe
because they won the first 10 games of the season.
They're still in Europe, man.
It's because they won the first 10 games of the season.
Hey, man, whatever works, right? But they're there.
They've been awful since then.
Yeah, they earned themselves out of relegation.
And the rest of the league has been awfuler, which is not a word, but they've been awfuler to keep them where they are.
Been awfuler.
That's fair. That is fair. I just think that even Pep has adapted over the years. Yes, he's stuck with his original philosophy in the beginning, of course, but once he got his players, you know, it's not like Ange didn't spend some of the Kane money. Basuma, Johnson, Madison, Werner. They've brought in guys, you know. I think Porro was already there. Udogi's new. Yeah. Van de Ven is I think he was already there.
Van de Ven was 65 mil, but he was already there.
Kulichevsky was some part of his deal meant that his contract, like the money they paid for him, ended up on this year's books. I've heard something like that.
I wouldn't mind Basuma either. If I could
he's left off a cliff though, man. Where's he going?
I know. If
the ghost of Basuma still comes out for games.
Yeah. But if I could take Mickey Van de Ven off that back line, bro.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think City was looking at Porro, so I mean, it's not like they're not looking that they don't have people that'll buy, so they'll get money again. And I think Ange will be able to.
If y'all buy Porro, whoever's scouting, that needs to be fired.
Well, I think it's just about.
I don't know. They plucked Kyle Walker from Spurs after I hated him for years.
It's the philosophy because Walker was just the speed merchant.
Walker could run like Wile E. Coyote on your left back, and yeah, you're gonna be set. You're good.
No, but Walker got technically better because he wasn't technical at all.
No. Yeah, I just think you know, maybe I have my doubts that Levy, you know, hasn't pulled the wool over Ange.
But that's what I think. That's what he believes, and that's why he's sticking it that way.
We'll see.
Yeah, I have no hope. Like, of course, I want Spurs to beat City to get a draw versus City. I have less than no hope there based on this game. And Poole were like back to what they do, man, knocking in goals. You know, I think it's horrible the way Darwin's been attacked on social media. I don't know all the details, but apparently he's taken down all of his Liverpool-affiliated pictures because of all the abuse that he's getting from Liverpool fans. Like, well, you know, we've given him plenty of stick, calling him noodles and whatnot. But come on, like, how are you?
Can we take a second to talk about fans for a second? And I'm gonna call it fanatics and not supporters because Declan Rice's girlfriend did a similar thing. What is wrong with these people, man? Like, leave these people alone, man.
That one is even more ridiculous. Like, seriously,
leave them alone.
Leave them alone. It's really. I know that she's on social media and that Rice is on social media and that they're all plastered all over the airwaves and all that, but it's really none of any of our business who Declan Rice dates and decides to marry. It's not anyone's effing business.
Leave them alone.
About someone
to attack that lady, to attack Darwin Nunez.
Right. I mean, at this, it's, I don't know, maybe it's valued because there's a lot of conniving, thieving people out there, and maybe he trusts that woman, and that's a beautiful thing in this world. Like,
but what if Declan Rice? What if Declan Rice sees the people abuse them, and then Declan Rice pays people to go abuse that person? What would Declan Rice be? He'd be an idiot.
No, and Darwin, and the thing with Darwin is like, yes, I mean, I've been on the bad end of some Chelsea strikers who can't hit the broadside of a barn, who've given 900 million chances, and
have been,
you know,
in the past. In the past.
Fair.
Yes, and also the present.
Yes, actually, yes. But I mean, like if Darwin doesn't want to have a home in Liverpool, man, I mean, we could use someone like Darwin.
Look, man, there's a difference between saying Noodles was poor today and didn't and couldn't hit the broadside of a barn today. And then there's a difference between saying Noodles is a piece of crap and we're going to go over to his house and punch his wife in the face. Like these are the kinds of things that
Right.
No, but these are the kinds of things that professional footballers are getting messages on Instagram and whatnot. Like, what are y'all doing out here, man? This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be for entertainment. We're supposed to have a good time. And yet, because Noodles has hit the bar more times than anyone in the season, all of a sudden he's the world's biggest piece of shit that's ever lived. Come on, guys. Can we like, I get it. Social media is a very reactionary place. Yeah, it's a very angry place. It's a place where because you don't have to show your face, there are no consequences for what you're saying. Wrong. That is dead wrong. And I think that this is just a part of the rot that has taken a hold in the way fans are about the game these days.
The thing is, I agree with you that when we say they feel like there's no consequence, but there's also that next level of fanatic where they'll say it to their face because they know they can get paid for it. And that's like the scum of the earth.
It's even worse, man.
Because but there's people who are provocateurs that are like, yeah, I'm gonna get this athlete to hit me.
The dude who threw a drink at Ron Artest.
I'm not gonna lie, I watched that game live. That was beautiful television.
Beautiful television.
I personally was like, hey man, if you're bold enough to say it, you better be bold enough to
get punch
in the face.
I'm also of that camp as well, but yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Here's my utopian solution that if things were the way I think they should be, you guys are getting paid stupid, ridiculous, unheard of, obscene flipping money. It's my same opinion about doing drugs as a professional athlete. You're getting paid just wait 10 years. You're getting paid stupid, flipping, dumb money. Just stay off Instagram for 5-6 your career. It's not like it's forever. 10 years. Stay off Instagram for 10 years.
Do it for you. Like the guy who got in trouble for betting on the game against City. What are you doing?
Right.
Just pay somebody to do it. If you think it's an important part of your brand.
Ivan knows.
Yeah, Tyvan Ione is out here. Tavon Ione is out here placing bet. Come on, people. Come on, man. Like,
if you really have a good relationship with the Wags, just let her do it.
There you go.
Let her do it.
What's wrong?
Yeah, dude. Wolf of Wall Street. Just get your aunt. Just get your aunt that lives in England.
Darwizzy, bro, you can pay me. I will be your social media manager. I'm available.
I
got you.
I will reply to all of them. They won't respond.
Every one of them.
They won't respond. Yeah.
They won't. They don't want the smoke. I got you, dog. Call me up. Call me up. Link my email's in the description, dude. Hit me up. I got you.
The Cup Chasers social media.
I got you, bro. The Cup Chasers social media advantage marketing strategies, baby. Let's go.
You know what's funny is me and my buddies actually came up with this because we actually asked the question. We were talking about NBA players because we look at NBA players and pro soccer players do it too. Well, pro athletes who get with women. And then the woman takes advantage of them, and the whole world sees that the woman would have taken advantage of them. And we literally ask, "How didn't you know that?" And that's when we recognized we needed to create a consulting firm called RAD. Now, the RAD is an acronym, which means regular ass dude, right? Which means you just need a regular dude to be like, "Hey, man, you shouldn't do that." Like, just call him, "Hey, man, I'm about to do this thing. Should I do it?" No. You should not do it because
normal people don't do that.
Look, I'm 100%. I'm 100% on board with this because think about it. Did LeBron James go to college?
No, he did not.
Did Kobe Bryant go to college?
He sure did not.
These guys could pay someone with life experience to be like, hey, does this sound fishy?
Yes.
Boom, we're not doing it.
Don't do it.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same as when you make million. You know, it's like if you hit the lottery. Say you win the Powerball. I'm probably going to hire a money manager.
You're gonna have to.
Just saying. I probably, you sign a huge contract for the Houston Rockets. You probably hire a money manager.
You have to.
Right out of high school. I don't know shit about finance. But I can score goals, Erling Haaland, whatever. Hire someone who knows, and then hire somebody else to watch that guy to make sure he's not an asshole.
You hire a PI to watch that guy.
Then you hire a guy to watch that guy.
And you hire a PI to watch both of those guys.
What have we done?
Then you have an outside firm. Then you have an outside firm come in.
And that's why just hire Rad.
Just hire the regular.
You don't even have to.
Regular ass dude.
You're there. Hey, man, should I talk to this woman? Hey, what does she ask you? No, don't do that.
No.
Let's not do that. Look at him. It's just this.
Should I gamble on this game?
Look at him. Here's the yes, guys. Look in the mirror. Take away your money. Would she be talking to you?
No.
No? Yes. Walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away. Quickly.
Hey, should I gamble on this game I'm about to play in? Can you influence the game? Or are you going to be on the bench? Or are you going to be on the field?
Do you have any affiliation?
No!
No. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah. At some point, you just hire somebody to slap you in the face. Just be like, look, whenever I'm about to do something stupid, just come punch me right in my face, and I'll walk away.
And the thing is, it's not even about clout chasing. We don't even want people to know we exist. We just want to help you. Stop being stupid.
Yeah, come on, man. I just feel like at the end, I get it. I know that I'm a Looney Tune, and in the world we live in, social media is just a part of it, and the players are going to be on social media. That is, and now that's a part of managing, because the manager has to deal with all this BS that comes from, that it's like, what, I'm guilty of it. I made some comments on Arsenal posts on Instagram a few months ago, where the dude, the guy was, the social media guy for Arsenal was in a golf cart with Kai Havertz, rolling around the field talking nonsense. And I put a not very nice comment about maybe you should be practicing instead of, rolling around the thing. And these people, and no, I don't think Kai read that and was influenced by my comment, but I do think that they read comments.
Yes.
And they see these things online on social media. I do think they watch channels like these, maybe not ours. The coaches are definitely watching the Cup Chasers. I know that much, but the players maybe not so much. We've seen, yeah, but yeah, I know that, like the United guys know who Mark Goldbridge is. You know what I mean? Like I know that some of these super ridiculously famous YouTubers, Erling Haaland obviously heard about Roy Keane's statement about him being a League Two player. Yeah. And that's obviously he probably has thought about that. He probably wanted to give an and one to the camera, hoping Roy Keane was watching. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So in this day and age, it's a delusion to think that players aren't going to look at social media, But I just think that that if Darwin Núñez felt that he had to take his stuff down and he felt so disillusioned from the club because of the fans, that's a disgrace. It's a horrible look. And the Klopp retirement tour. And why am I even talking about this? You won 4-2, and this is what's in the news. This is what's splayed all over social media. You won 4-2. You guys were back to some of your best, form of the season. Harvey Elliott scores an absolute banger. Mo Salah's back on the score sheet. And we're sat here for 20 minutes talking about social media.
But I think, the thing about it is that the older generation who talks about, how the game was harder for them, I don't think they would have been able to handle this. Like
the pressure is different. The skill is not the same. You're 100% right. We had more Ronaldinhos playing the game in the early 2000s than we have. Like maybe one or two players can be able to do what he could do, and that was almost the standard there for a little minute in football, where it was that kind of footwork was needed up and down the field, no matter the position. Now it's like the pressure of the game is a lot more heightened and it's in your face, and they don't get to go to, if they go to a nightclub, like if Ronaldinho went to a nightclub in Barcelona, yeah, the people at that nightclub knew he was there. They probably called all their friends. It was a big to-do. Now, if he's at a nightclub in Barcelona,
we wouldn't have a clue.
We wouldn't have a clue. Now we do know. We can watch him live on IG. Like
Rashford gets caught in Belfast.
Zuma gets caught kicking a cat, and he's absolutely lambasted. Like,
well, I also think more is expected of players at younger ages too. And for example,
they're 20. If you filmed me when I was 20.
Well, I know what I was doing at 20, so I was getting in trouble. But
I got to play with you when you were 20, didn't I?
That's what I'm saying. Don't film me when I'm 20.
But the thing that's interesting is, but I've thought about this several times. I think I may have done that the expectations of younger players are so high that that you can't help but assume they have to live their lives jaded. Like, let's use Cole Palmer as an example. Cole Palmer left Manchester City, big club, and fair enough, because he thought he was a good player. He's clearly a good player. And this guy was like, I should be playing regularly with Riyad Mahrez there, Jack Grealish there, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. I should be playing regularly.
Gundogan was still there.
I should be playing regularly. And the coach was like, hey, man, just be patient. And then he says, hey, Phil Foden is being patient, and I think you're good as him. And he's like, no, I want to lead my own team. So he leaves, right? And the coach is like, fine. He goes to Chelsea, and he's good, right? And that's great. He's good. But he's good in a team that's had a period, and I'm not saying it's over, but I'm hoping for you all it's over, that was very dysfunctional. And so now Cole is now the face of Chelsea Football Club at 21 years old. And is he ready for that? Because, okay, he just had the season, and that's great. Does he now know he's not functioning off potential? He's functioning off expectation next season. Yep. Like, Cole better give you 20 or he's trash.
Now you're on the books for you give me 20.
That's part of the reason with the whole League Two crap for Haaland. Say he set an absolutely ridiculous standard the first season. And because fans these days are, what have you done for me lately? All the time. And we expect, it's the same thing you said earlier in the pod, Lewis. Arsenal can't go backwards.
Yep.
We can't go backwards. Third this season is backwards. Like that we can't go backwards. We don't own, it's only forward, Haaland scored 50 goals last season. If he doesn't do it this season, League Two. He's a League Two player. What a bum.
And it's like the thing I sent you guys about the Ballon d'Or, and Jake, I know your stance on it, but I just find it so interesting that one, Messi is in the top 10. I think Messi all-time great. I don't understand how he's in the top 10 in the Ballon d'Or with the European players we've seen. I just don't see it. I don't understand. And I'm not knocking Bellingham. But I mean, if we're looking at the whole, if we're looking at the whole season, including the form now, I'm not sure why he's number one. I think he's for sure up there, but I'm not sure why he's number one. I don't know who should be number one, so it's not a favoritism thing. I don't know who should be number one, but I don't feel like the lock that they have for him is there outside of the fact that he plays for Madrid. And just imagine being him, the weight on his shoulder now. if he wins the Ballon d'Or this year, the amount of expectation
England better win the Euros.
They better win everything.
Yep.
Madrid better win champs. Yeah,
Everything.
like it's yeah, I hear that, man.
And then what do you do? So this guy. So if because I think he's probably got what 20. He got 20 this season, right? 20.
Bellingham?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I can look it up right quick.
I would guess he does.
His GA's up there.
I feel like he would. So if he has 20, that means that if say he has
21 and 36.
Okay. So say next year he puts up the same numbers. Is that good enough? Because based on the narrative, it's not. So I gave you the same thing and it's not good enough. Or say they do the same run, but he doesn't put up the same numbers, but his contribution in the team is different. It's a Luka Modric type contribution where it's not showing up in the score sheet. It's showing up everywhere else. He's Jack Grealish next year. Is he washed now? Like, I mean, I don't understand. Well, no, I do, but it's so silly to be that way. At such a young age, we're not even letting guys develop and have consistent seasons before we're saying this guy's the next one. Like, at least give me 3 seasons in a row of being this before I say you're that.
Yeah. The thing is, it's okay to say that, someone like Ivan Toney is in his prime.
Yes.
He's 29. Come on, people. Erling Haaland is 22 years old. Cole Palmer's 20.
Saka's
22.
The criticism he's faced is absolutely insane.
Like, can we have a little bit of patience? Instead of if you're not Ronaldinho next season, by the time you're 22, if you're not
Saudi League,
flipping Rivaldo, you're washed, and let's go move on.
But here's the thing that we've ignored, but Ronaldinho wasn't that way all the time.
No.
And so we're so jaded about it. The only people who were like consistently that guy are Ronaldo and Messi. That's it.
Zizi.
It's easy. And I would give Lewandowski in the German league. That's it.
I would give pre-Barcelona,
I mean, it depends on when you're saying that guy. Like, Zidane put in the performances. Zidane carried teams.
Years.
Monster, right? But when you're saying
there's not many guys who did that.
But when you're saying like if you look at Ronaldinho, he doesn't actually have a ridiculous goal tally because he didn't play. He didn't really play all that long.
No, his career is very short.
But because he was so good, you know what I mean? That's why we have that kind of respect for him. But you're right. There's nobody to score. And if you want to say because he doesn't do build up very well, he's looking like a League Two player when he's not in front of the goal. More power to you, buddy. You are allowed your opinion, but scoring goals is what a striker does. That's what a striker should be then judged on because, that's your job. That's what you're here for, And so the man has scored 88 goals in 94 games. And if that's not good enough for you, you're crazy.
You're crazy. You can't expect a goal a game. He's almost at a goal a game.
In almost 2 full seasons, he's almost hit a goal a game. That's stupid. Only Messi and Ronaldo. And you know what? Haaland's numbers are actually better than both of them at his age. At their age.
Right.
His tallies, dude man has put up 40+ goals in 4 straight seasons since he was 18.
Well, he's a monster.
The homie is a monster.
Monster.
It's baffling. The standard that we set that allows us to say someone who has 88 goals in 94 games is looking like a League Two player. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. Can we not just? It's the same reason I have issue with every time we're talking about Foden, it has to be, we're comparing him to Saka.
And they don't play the same position.
These things don't make any sense. Why can't we just be like, look? Why can't we just be like, look, Saka can do this really good, Foden can do this really good, and then we wax lyrical about the fact that if Southgate could get his head out of his absolute, you know what, and Foden, Saka, Bellingham, and then you put them all together, like if instead we wax lyrical about that and put the tribalism aside, maybe I'm crazy, but we just might create an environment where England might actually do something.
Stop. No.
Jake, you sent the videos. You actually sent the video of Foden throwing darts with Saka. Like they're friends.
They're friends.
They don't even care.
Like, come on, man. And yeah, dude. It's like if Saka's better, Foden is shit. This is the narrative that people,
it's just extreme. It's extremist.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's extremist vocabulary or semantics, whatever you want to say. Like that's all it is. It's just they want it to be so extreme that way you click on it or hear it or listen to it so it stands out and the opinion then is loud and that's the way it needs to be in order to be heard. And it's just like that's just really not the case.
And I think people want rivalries, which is silly when you force them, because like the Ronaldo Messi rivalry, right?
They respect each other.
It's the most forced thing of all time.
They fit each other all the time for the competition. Hey man, no, I had to score 30 more goals because I knew you were gonna do it, and that's not how I want to play. Like it takes if nobody was gonna challenge Kobe Bryant needed to like that mentality. Michael Jordan, like. I'm glad there's people here to challenge me because I wouldn't be this good if there wasn't that guy that was in the gym. Because I have to be the last one out of the gym, and he also wanted to do that, but I wanted it more, so therefore I did.
You know who says things like that? That's exactly what Pep says about Klopp.
Because they like each other. They don't have no issues with each other, man. Like for example, and so as I make a small Cristiano push, the man. Do you know how many goals he has this year?
52.
It's insane.
Crushing it.
52 goals, and he didn't even make top 10.
He's 39.
Yep.
What are we doing?
That's why I said it's a popularity contest because FIFA obviously doesn't rate the Saudi league, but they rate the MLS.
It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, when the Saudi league,
I just can't even like. I have zero respect.
Play the MLS. They absolutely get They absolutely just get blasted.
I have zero respect for these types, these award shows.
Yep.
No, Jay,
like
you did make a comment. And I'm not opposed to it, but I want to hear your case. So Foden won PFA, right? Is that what he won? The PFA?
He won the Football Writers.
The Football Writers, and so
Player of the Year.
Rice came in second. And I mean, and I know it was after the game, and I'm not opposed to what you said. So, but I'm curious. You said you think Rice should have won it. So why do you think Rice should have won it? Now I don't know if you were saying it like in a joke or because I think he has a claim, but I'm curious about the point on that.
I mean, I think Rice has been the best player in the league this season, bar none. Foden has definitely been influential, and Foden has had a fantastic season, and he's banging in awesome goals. And he's playing on the wing and he's playing in the center. I got mad respect for Philly Foden. But, I think that Foden let me put it this way. Foden has not done as much for City as Arsenal or as Rice has done for Arsenal. Rice has elevated us so high to just a whole nother level, man. And this guy is absolutely incredible, dude. He's just putting in 8 out of 9 out of 10 week in, week out, week in, and week out. You want him to play in the 6 because Partey's injured? Got it. He's going to put in consistent performances that are as good, if not better, than Rodri has played this season in that 6 role. Okay, Partey's healthy. You want him to play in the 8. Okay, we got Jorginho playing in the 6. You want him to play in the 8. He's been better than anyone else on our team by leaps and bounds in that left 8 role by a ridiculous 700 billion miles. He's been better than anyone else in our left 8. Clear. You want him to get forward? You want him to get forward? You want him to score goals? Man has matched Granit Xhaka's numbers from last season. 7 goals, 7 assists, all competitions. Dude wins all the second balls. Dude battles like a titan. He gets back when we're in transition to break up the damn counterattacks. He takes our corner kicks. He's a monster, dude, and he's a huge cog in our team. He plays every single game. Like, you know, I just think that Rice is doing more for Arsenal than Foden is doing for City. And like I say from our conversation we just had, that's not to say that Foden is being bad.
I didn't hear that.
You know, it's like
team
like
more
this,
because he brings a different right.
But then it comes to my question, because there are City supporters that say Rodri should have won over Foden. And I mean, we could use the same metrics. Now you said you feel that Rice, which I think Rice has had a fantastic season, that he's had a better season. Now Rodri literally has better numbers than he's ever had. And City's record, which, I mean, again, I agree with you. I don't really understand the unbeaten thing, but proof is in the pudding in City. When he's not on the field, they literally are a completely different team. So he literally makes the team go. If anyone is the most important person on the team, because we talked about this early in the year, we before thought it was De Bruyne. We now know it's Rodri. Like, we know it, 0 question. If he's not in the middle of the park, then nothing happens.
It's a different game.
I agree. I agree with your point about Rice's influence on Arsenal, because I put it like this: if he is out of the game, like Rodri is out of the game, your team is a completely different team, completely different.
I'll put it this way: if Rice is in your team, if City got Rice instead of us, you'd be clear by 10 points.
Yes, we would, and we all know that. We maybe more than 10, but and I give you that.
Oh yeah, y'all would have dropped so many more. Y'all
would wreck everybody.
Y'all would have dropped so much more. Yeah.
But so this is why I agree with your a degree of your argument, and so I'm not opposed to it. But I also looked at all the arguments you make the City supporters' point about Rodri the same, right? Because
I think Rodri has not been as good as he was. He wasn't as good. He has not been as good this season as he was last season on the eye. You said the numbers were better, so I'll give you that. But on the eye,
right?
I think, and that goes back to what we were saying. You know, he set a huge standard last season, and he hasn't hit it hasn't quite hit it this season. And so Foden gets all the plaudits because Foden is having a better season than he had last season. You see what we're doing here?
Yeah.
And the other thing about it is that
you see
one contextual thing we're missing that I think makes the comparison of all of them different is that we all knew Rice was going to be good, but we didn't have the expectation of Rice to be what he is now. Next year, the Rice expectations are super high. Rodri came in expecting to be, you have to be this guy all the time. And he adjusted where he knew he had to contribute more, so he did. And so his level, and I agree with you too, the eye looks different, but he's contributed in a different way to basically produce the same results. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's dealing with a different level of pressure where Rice has maybe more freedom, right? In the perspective game, where I think next year, and I think Rice will be able to handle it. But Rice, I think the expectations on Rice are going to be huge, because I think you're going to get another midfielder to support him there. So maybe he can move back and forth. And then the expectation is, okay, we got a 6 for you. Do your thing. Right. And then so now if Rice performs the same way he did this year, next year, would the perspective be the same on him? You know what I mean? Or would you want more from him? And so I agree. I think your points are all valid. And I wouldn't, obviously as a homer, I would vote for my guy, but I completely agree with what you said about Rice and his how massive he's been to Arsenal.
I think regardless of the results of this season, the expectation on Rice will be to replicate and to be as good, if not better, whether we win the league or not. Now,
Yep.
as far as the PFA Player of the Year award goes,
Yeah, that's the next one. My bad. You're right. That's the next.
if Arsenal win the league, it should be Rice. If City win the league, okay, Rodri or Foden.
I think they
have all been that good.
Yeah, but I think that the issue that causes is that'll split the votes, because you already saw that with the City vote that it got split like that. And if I'm being honest, that goes with the popularity part, where then you're like a popular guy wins, and that it just makes the whole award thing so yeah.
Yet another reason why I'm not a huge fan of awards. And you never know who's voting on what, and it gets all confused and combobulated and all of that. But yeah, man, I think that Rice has been amazing. I think Foden has been amazing. I think Rodri has been. I think he's been fantastic. Of course, I don't think he's
not from the same guy from last year,
right? But only by a little bit. But, once again, it's like that might have been the best team we've ever seen, ever. And so the bar is like flipping high as it could be. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I think that, yeah, man, I don't think y'all are going to drop points. And so I think that Foden might win it. Foden might actually win it in the end, just because I still think y'all will win the league, and especially if he gets another couple of bangers in before the end of the season.
Well,
Yeah,
is Cole Palmer eligible for Young Player of the Year?
He should be, right?
I
thought it was 21.
It's 20. Well, he just turned 22.
Well, if that's the case, I think, because I would guess he'd be the lock for that this year.
Yeah, sure.
I'd assume that if he's eligible.
Yeah. I mean, pushing HAALAND for Golden Boot race. Yeah,
he had amazing.
I mean, HAALAND kind of pulled away from him. Palmer scored once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he got one.
Mm-hmm.
HAALAND hit 4, and HAALAND was already ahead of him
by 1.
So,
yeah, it's a nice.
So now up. Palmer's on 21. HAALAND's on 25.
Yeah, so he's 4 ahead.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So that's going to be tough to do. But who knows, man? Chelsea are flying.
Yeah,
but,
they are.
They are, absolutely. Of course, there were some other games, but I think we're going to wrap it here. We've gone 2 hours. Definitely a good one. Definitely enjoyed that kind of white rabbit we chased there at the end. Yeah,
value content.
It was an incredible weekend.
It was.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an incredible weekend, and we're looking forward to Champions League tomorrow. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Of course, I think the Paris Dortmund game is Tuesday, and the Bayern Madrid game is on Wednesday. Of course, we will be back on Thursday to tell you all about it and preview the weekend action. And we are absolutely pumped. And if you're as excited about it as we are, you know what to do. Smash up the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Of course, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Get that notification bell on, and you will see us next time.